Okay, and we're on. We're on
Okay, I
Zoom.
see.
James,
All right.
James, we're ready.
Leah, I'll let you start off, but before that, I'm gonna play a little something for y'all.
Not coming through, James.
Okay, hold on. You hear it now?
It's not clear.
Not clear?
It's not
No,
clear.
it's not clear.
Keep going.
I apologize. I'll try to work on getting that maybe at the end. So
Okay.
Okay.
trying to play the alma mater.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was for you, dear Norfolk State. Yes, indeed.
exactly what it
All
was.
right, yeah.
The connection was a
Okay.
little, but anyway, go ahead, Leah.
All right. It is indeed my pleasure and my honor to introduce to you two fine young men from the great city of Portsmouth, Virginia, who represents Norfolk State Alumni Chapter, Portsmouth Chapter of the Norfolk State Alumni, in none other than Mr. William Bill Anderson, the president, and Mr. Lewis Taylor, vice president. I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to both of you. And we're so happy to have you here as we begin to salute the HBCUs. And it's only fitting that we begin this session with our HBCUs with Norfolk State University. Behold, the green and gold. Well, guys, it's so nice having you all here this evening. Like I said, as we are preparing to salute all of the HBCUs, and especially at a time when young people are trying to make a decision as to where they're going to go to school. However, we know that you do a lot for Norfolk State with the Portsmouth chapter of the Norfolk State Alumni Association. So, Bill, do you want to start telling us something about the Portsmouth chapter?
Well, I just want to let you know that we want to thank you so very, very much for having us on here this afternoon. We've been hearing a lot about this coffee table, and you all are doing so many things good in the Portsmouth area, saluting different people. We want to thank you so very, very much for letting us be on here this afternoon, and also to let us talk about the Norfolk State University. Our Portsmouth Alumni Chapter, we've been in business for about 50 years. And our main goal as far as alumni is concerned is to promote and to do all of the things that's necessary in order to help Norfolk State along with students, alumni, and all the activities and stuff that's going on at the school. And so we are very, very glad to be on here this afternoon to just let you know a little bit about what it is that we do. And me and Lewis, we'll be piggybacking on the information. So
Lewis Taylor, my classmate.
Great classmate. That's what Bill said is exactly true. We have projects that we sponsor throughout the year. A lot of times students come up short on funds for the year. They can apply to the Portsmouth chapter, to maybe have, books or anything like that. And we do provide those for them. We have an annual scholarship that we've been doing. We're trying to move beyond it's a $1,000 scholarship. We're trying to move beyond, but to do anything, it takes money in order to do it. Now, being a part of the Alumni Association, you have certain obligations that the school, that we have to participate in also. So there are other scholarships other scholarship foundations that the Alumni Association is involved in, like the Lyman B. Brooks Scholarship Fund, that we also have to participate in as far as pledging certain portion of our funds for that to keep that an active scholarship. So we do a lot of things throughout the year. We try to do outreach in the community, along with other things that we're doing as far as the chapter is concerned.
And you're
One of the
avid
things,
supporters.
one of the things that we're proud of is the fact that during the pandemic, we've had increase in our membership, and we wonder a lot of times if that was because of the pandemic, because we've been meeting virtually for the last 2.5 years, and we were able to raise funds for our scholarships, as Lewis mentioned earlier, and we've also been able to recruit members. As a matter of fact, this was a banner year for us getting members in Portsmouth, Virginia, in our alumni chapter. This is a banner year. We have the year prior to that, we had about 60, and this year we have over 100. So therefore, we feel like the pandemic had a lot to do with it, but it's also Norfolk State's brand. Norfolk State's brand is growing increasingly, and all of us realize that we want to be a part of that thing. We want to be a part of making Norfolk State the best university on the mid grade level. And so I think everybody's catching on to the dream, and everybody's catching on to how we need to provide our talents, our finances, and our participation in all the things that's going on at the Norfolk State University. And the main purpose of the Alumni Association anyway is to assist the university in all efforts that they have, as far as recruitment of students, as far as supporting all the activities of the school, and to just make sure that we do everything we can to lift Norfolk State up high. As a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons I got on my We Are NSU Alumni Behold, because that's one of the things that we're trying to get people to do. We're trying to show the brand. Now, Leah, I see you got yours on too.
I wore my shirt today.
All right,
Yes,
then.
indeed.
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm.
So now, and I know you all are avid supporters of the basketball team and the football team. I know you all get together and you go to those games and participate in that factor as well.
Oh yes, oh yes,
That's-
oh yes, oh yes. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we do as far as raising funds, we run bus trips to these different activities, the basketball games and the football games. Every method that we can come up with to raise funds for the Norfolk State University, that's what we do. And you mentioned basketball and football. We support those activities home and away as much as we possibly can. And we usually try to have 3 or 4 buses going up and down the road. We've been doing this for, my God, we've been doing it for a very, very long time. And that's something that we enjoy. One of the things that's happening now is this, a lot of times we have people that used to travel with us that can't travel too much anymore because of the needs and different things like this, but still we managed to get our buses going. It's all about the love of Norfolk State, the love of the school and participation, because we want to let the team members know, we want to let the students know that we as alumni, we support all activities that they have. And I think it's just so good when students see alumni following them in all their endeavors. It's something that's really, really helped them and make them strong. We've had so many of the players, so many players on both aspects, baseball, basketball, football, that actually said to us from time to time how it makes them feel good when they go somewhere and they have a following of people there. It just makes them feel good. So that's what we try to do. We try to support them in everything.
And with the new, excuse me, y'all, I had to hit my do not call button here. But so, and your relationship, tell us about the new administration on campus. Lewis?
Okay. Okay, as you know, we have a relatively new president, Dr. Gaskin. She's been there for 3 years. She is totally sold out for Norfolk State. She believes in Norfolk State 150%. Matter of fact, we were at a Norfolk State Athletic Foundation meeting last night, and she was talking about some of the great things that Norfolk State are doing. And it's not just in sports. Norfolk State is doing a lot of good things there, and you probably heard some of the things my daughter mentioned them, but they are in the academic fields. They are venturing out and getting involved in things that they have not been involved in the past, which is great for Norfolk State. You know, they developed that the cyber security program over Norfolk State, which was a big thing because there wasn't nothing in that area for a long time. It was nothing in this area for that. And Norfolk State was able to head it up. So, you know, those are kind of things, and they are venturing out. They're talking to, and a lot of this came from my daughter now, but they're talking to different businesses that are interested in talking to Norfolk State students, offering them, internships and things like that during the summer. They're offering, and this is all across the country. It's not just regional or anything like that, but they're doing a lot of those things. And like I said, Dr. Gaskin is sold out for making sure that Norfolk State continued to grow. And one of the things she mentioned last night that kind of made me happy was that she said out of 350, 360, Norfolk State is ranked 31. And that's saying a lot for Norfolk State. Now we have some great HBCUs, great. You know, Spelman College, colleges like that, you know, that produce fine people that have gone out and done wonderful things. But we got great students right in Norfolk State that done a lot of great things. So we have a history of, just having people that, they don't just sit on the fence. They go out and they do things after they graduate, and they're not afraid to say that they came from Norfolk State. A lot of times people, when we were in school, everybody, well, I graduated from this college, or I graduated, when you went out, okay, yeah, you from Virginia, UVA, or okay, you did that. Well, I come from Norfolk State. I felt just as proud as anybody else when I told them that I came from Norfolk State. And I know the Colonel probably can relate to that. When he went in the military, how, you got all these guys saying, I'm graduate. Well, I'm from this college, I'm from that, But we were proud that we graduated from Norfolk State.
Yeah.
So, it's just like Bill said, it's a thing that you just have to feel that love for your college and do the best you can, and don't be ashamed of it. Because Norfolk State has done a lot of great things in its existence since 1935. So, and a lot of us, by being a school where mid to low income people could probably go to college, it provided that source for them. So, those are the kind of things that we have to be aware of, that's why we need our HBCU. A lot of them, you can't go to the University of Virginia, and pay $40,000, $50,000 a semester or a year to attend, where you could go to Norfolk State and probably could get out, under $20,000 a year. So that's why we need our HBCUs. And
yeah, another reason we need HBCUs is because of the cultural difference.
Yes.
Because, we want to make sure that you can exist in this world, but we want to make sure that you realize and recognize where you're coming from. And you can't get any better type of education than an HBCU, because one thing with those larger schools, they have those great big classrooms, and people that don't really look like you and they don't care about you. But at the HBCUs, the classes are smaller. You have professors that are some of the best professors all across the world that actually want to be there to teach the students and stuff. So therefore, you have that cultural reference and everything. And just like he said one time before, he was talking about in the community, the community of people that's at the school. All of us come from, all of us as Black, we come from a background of, I don't want to get too, we come from a background of understanding that we have to be better. We have to be better. And the people at the universities that teach, they teach you how to be better in this world that we live in. So therefore, that's another reason for living in there. And then another reason for going to HBCU is homecoming.
Oh, yes.
Homecoming. You cannot experience a homecoming anywhere any better than at a HBCU.
You're right about that, Bill.
I mean, so I'll put that down there as another good reason for being a part of going to HBCU is homecoming, because homecomings are just fantastic. You get everybody from all across the country, alumni from all across the country who have succeeded because they did go to the HBCU. They come home to be with their friends. They come home to celebrate. They come home to watch the band, the football. I mean, that's something that you cannot get anywhere else. And that's part of our culture.
Yes.
That's one of the most important things about the HBCUs, I believe. That's one of the important things. There's so many other things that we can talk about.
But Bill, also, Bill, people in the community who didn't go to Norfolk State, they didn't go to college. They still select
right.
Norfolk State as their school, and they come
That's
out to support Norfolk State University.
That's
But
right.
I want to mention one thing. Lewis was talking about the president, but he failed to mention our own homegrown person, our Norcomite, who is at Norfolk State University, who now has the title of what, Lewis? And she is watching, so you better get it right. She's online. Lewis, share with us.
She's
Say your name, please.
Dr. Aurelia Taylor Williams.
Yes.
She's the vice promo, not vice promo. She's the vice
Provost.
Leah, you wouldn't put me on the spot.
Oh, he had a brain cramp. Provost.
Yeah, I got a brain. Hold on. I think I'm
Vice Provost.
Vice Provost. Thank you, Bill. She's the Vice Provost for the academics.
Student and academic affairs.
Yeah, she got a long title. I told her, I don't know how you're gonna do all this, girl, but well, I can call her girl because she's my daughter. But yeah, it's a long title, and then it's got something to do with the cybersecurity and all that. But she's been on the road. She's just getting back today, matter of fact. She went to Denver for the students, and then she went to Texas after that. So she's been on the road. She's trying to introduce the kids. She told me about 3 weeks ago, Norfolk State was able to compete in a marketing program that somebody sponsored in Texas. I forget the name of the company, but Norfolk State was a part of it. When I was in school, I majored in business administration, marketing, but we didn't get a chance to go nowhere. That wasn't an option for us.
Right.
But anyway, these are the kind of things that, we as a HBCU, Norfolk State, trying to make sure that our kids get exposure to these things so they know what's going on as far as the rest of the world. They are not left out. They didn't do first place. They got first place for the presentation, but they lost by 1/2 a point.
Aurelia
and
says
this was
it
their
was the
first year doing it.
Aurelia said it was the HBCU Battle of the Brains.
See, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and so hey, and like I said, I was trying to say, Leo, and see, Dr. Gaskin is totally behind these kind of programs that our kids on the HBCU level get exposed to these things that they need to make them great in the future.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So,
Colonel, did you have something to say?
Yeah, so I'm going to address Bill first, and he brought up the word cultural, and yes, and I'm a 1981 graduate of Norfolk State in the Department of Nursing. And I was the only Black male in my class. And so I've been in nursing, so you can say that's 40 plus years. But if you look at the PWI, predominantly white universities, and I look at the kids that come out of HBCU schools, I would say that we are better prepared. You use the word better prepared, that we know we have to be better prepared to go out here in society. But Norfolk State and the HBCU schools teach us we have to be better than better. And I've always, when in my military career, and I always lectured it, and it always hit a point, even when I'm talking to general officers. My point is, I say I have to be at least twice as good to sit at the same table. And so I got that from my upbringing from coming from an HBCU schools.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I always did that. And because for me to, I did my Army career, and when I made 06 Colonel, I was the 7th African-American male to make 06 in the Army Nurse Corps.
Yes, sir.
And so, yeah, so I had to be twice as good or better just to sit at the same table, because I was not holding nothing back. So the other piece that Lewis was talking about the cybersecurity program, little known fact, during the Obama Biden administration, Joe Biden as vice president came down here to Norfolk State and handed that check to Norfolk State.
That's right.
And actually during the debates with Trump, he alluded to that, but he couldn't think of, he was trying to get it out, but he didn't name Norfolk State, but he said, I started this cybersecurity thing at an HBCU school. But I wish he would have got that one line through there. Right. But he didn't.
Yeah, because my daughter was instrumental in showing him around and introducing him to what Norfolk State was doing. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And I have to agree with you, Colonel. I don't know if you know of John Washington. He was in the nursing corps also. And he told me that he told me about the experience that he had in it by being, an officer in the nursing corps and being Black, and how hard it was, for him. So I know what you're talking about. My hat's off to you. I don't have one on, but my hat's off to you.
I served with John Washington, one of my best friends.
Okay.
One of my best friends. He had a heart attack a few years ago.
Yes.
He passed on, but he was one of my best friends. And,
very good guy. Classmate Leah.
Yes.
Classmate
Leah.
All right,
John
now.
Washington,
Okay.
our classmate.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
So,
Slim
Overton, did you have a question?
Well, I tell you, listen to y'all want to take me back to the CIAA competition between
no, don't go there.
I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off for right now.
We'll take you back.
I know you guys were there when you were in the CIAA playing schools like Union and Elizabeth City and Hampton and things like that. But I wanted to say this.
North Carolina Central. Oh man.
Yeah, Morgan and all those. But I want to say this because even though I'm a part of the Virginia Union alumni,
that's all right.
I took some classes at Norfolk State. So Norfolk State is still dear to my heart. And the classes I took were in urban planning. And they helped me for the 8 years I served on Portsmouth City Planning Commission. Because I was kind of doing it at the same time. So when I was going to those meetings, I was remembering some of those things I was learning in class earlier that day to help me understand what was going on as far as planning for the city. So Norfolk State is dear to my heart as well. But just for a moment, I want to take you guys back. Back in the 70s, there was a song out by the Jimmy Castro Bunch, and he would start off by saying, I want to take you back, way back. So I want to take you guys back to the time when you were on campus and share some of the experiences you had. Now, Lewis, I want you to remember your daughter's listening.
I know it. That's why you messing up.
And Lewis, also Herbert Towns, who graduated with you, he's on listening too. So you better tell us the truth. Go ahead, Slim.
Yeah. Hey, Herbert. Yeah, I just wanted you know, we can get back to the other things, but I always wanted people that experience HBUs, and Bill talked about the homecomings, nothing like it.
Yes.
But you guys talk a little bit about your experiences being on campus there. I don't know, were you all day students?
Yeah, I was a
Okay.
day student.
I was a day student.
Okay, but you spent a significant amount of time on campus, you know. So
Slim,
you know,
they were probably riding the Blue Goose. The Blue Goose used to come by and pick up the students and take them
That's
to
right.
Norfolk
That's
State.
right. I was a commuter. I commuted from home, you know, and got there, you know, in the morning. Like Leah said, we would ride the Blue Goose over, and then, you know, so we catch that over, and then we'd be on campus all day long. Wait till what was 5:30, the bus would come back from Norfolk back to Portsmouth. But I was a commuting student. You know, I attended classes. Then whenever we had breaks, I had a few times where I got caught up in the
In the student union building?
student union building, the guardroom building.
in
You know,
card room,
and
but-
once you learn to play cards, you know, that's all you want to do. Play cards all day long. But you know, those were the things. But you know, back then, that just like, and I know the Colonel said he graduated in '89, but I graduated '72, so it was mandatory that you take ROTC.
Yeah.
When I went in the first 2 years, you had to be in ROTC. So
Yeah.
you know, that was another area, you know, that I wasn't familiar with, but you know, I've come to enjoy it very much. So I like the ROTC program. But you know, that was a commitment that I had. And then I was fortunate enough that somebody had heard about me playing baseball at Norfolk. And so I was playing baseball for Norfolk State also. So I played 4 years of baseball with them. But the school life was great. I mean, you could not beat those times when I was over there. The teachers, they cared about you.
Yeah.
If you had a problem or anything like that, you know, or they could see that, you know, you weren't quite catching on to something, you know, they would talk to you and you could meet with them. And I'm hoping that it's the same way now with Norfolk State. But, you know, we had that opportunity to meet with our teachers if you know, something we had to try to get caught up on. But we had some great teachers then. I can't remember my math teacher. But he was a brown skinned man, but he was the greatest teacher. But I mean, there were just some great teachers at Norfolk State. That was my experience.
And still there, still great teachers.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
When I was in school, I didn't ride on a Grey Goose. I came in from out of town and I stayed. Back during that time, we didn't have dormitory, and we stayed in people's homes. And they were some of the most outstanding people that that Norfolk State could get, so you could stay into their homes. And then we walked back and forth to school. I was an industrial education major with a little minor in music and everything like that. And during that time, Norfolk State didn't have an engineering program, so industrial education with emphasis on electrical engineering was what I made.
Rice Roberts was there.
Yeah, Rice Roberts, AJ Clay
Yeah.
Jr. and in the drawing room and all of those people. I spent a whole lot of time over in that building, and then I spent a whole lot of time over in the music room too. And the teachers, they were very, very caring. They wanted to make sure that you had everything that you needed. They would take extra time with you. They would make sure that you got all of the extra information that you needed in order to pass your course and everything like that. So that was a time that made me, because when I came there, I came from the country, and I had never in my life been to a school as large as the Norfolk State University. And I lost my mind. I'm going, that's as far as I'm going, but they taught me everything I needed to do. I spent 38 years working as an electrical engineer for the Norfolk Naval Shipyard, traveling all around the country, doing things that I never ever thought I would do. So I'm always glad to reflect on that and to tell people, especially students, that you can do anything that you want. All you have to do is pay attention to what the teachers tell you to do, and they will make you, and they will teach you those things that you need to know in order to go forward and to make it wherever you go. Because you've heard so many times people will get a degree, they want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer, they want to be whatever. They'll get their degrees there at Norfolk State University, and then they'll move on to another university, and they do outstanding because they've already been prepared. They have the education that they need in order to cope and to deal with those things of the day. So that's one of the things that we do a lot of times when we be trying to recruit alumni to support Norfolk State. We try to let them remember. We want them to remember what they got from Norfolk State as a student and how it prepared them to greater things in life, how they went on with their jobs, how they raised their families, how they made money on top of money. And so they need to make sure that they realize who and where they got their beginning from and to give back to the school. And that's one of the things that we try to instill into our alumni. We owe it to Norfolk State for the things that we have got from Norfolk State and the way we have benefited from Norfolk State. We owe it to them. And so that students can go on and do much better things than we've done.
Mhm.
But that's one of our mechanisms.
And you know that question wasn't intended for you to expose anything you hold sacred at the time you were there. But I just want to talk about, because it was a cultural experience as well.
Yeah.
Even though we came from, most of us came from Black neighborhoods, but going there and meeting people from other cities like New York, New Orleans, Ohio, and things like that, that was a cultural experience that really helped us shape us, give us a wider view of the world or the United States. And that was part of it too.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Herbert Town says that Dr. Ruth Taylor, the business department, was the best teacher he ever had.
That's it.
That's the name you were trying to remember, huh, Lewis?
That's one of them. Yeah,
That's
Dr.
one of them.
Taylor
Okay.
and Mr. Perkins.
And Mr. Perkins, yes.
I remember Perkins.
But
one other thing, Leah, I just want to leave this as a history lesson. I'll just mention it. You mentioned Lyman Brooks.
Yes.
Your lesson for the night is to look up and see where he graduated.
Oh, Lordy. I knew it was coming. Don't look it up, fellas. It's all right. We're okay. He was at Norfolk State. That's all that matters. I mean,
he moved up in life. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. He made it. He moved up in life. That's right. And I'll leave it at that.
And you leave it at that.
Okay.
Now let me ask you one question. Is the Nemesis program still in operation at Norfolk State? Because I remember when Dr. DeZoritz invested money into that program, and I used to have to go to the meetings on his behalf. Now, is the Nemesis program still functioning? I know that has an incredible program, which, oh yes, Aurelia said yes. It has produced a lot of doctors and scientists and all kinds of, that is
engineers,
an excellent program. Engineers.
Excellent program.
It is an excellent program on Norfolk State's campus.
Yes. It's still in existence. They have their, matter of fact, they have their own alumni association.
Oh, do they?
Yes, the Nemesis program has its own alumni association.
And your daughter says they have 76% rate with terminal degrees. Thank you, Aurelia. We need you up here with us today. But yeah, I know they produce quite a few scholars in that program. And that was one thing that Dr. DeZoritz was so proud of. Even until his last days when I was with him, he was proud of the program there at Norfolk State University.
Yes. Norfolk State. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You know, one of the things you both of you mentioned is that your recruitment efforts. And then, so I just wanted to tell the young folks out there that are graduating or in school now and thinking about do I want to belong or should I belong to the Alumni Association? So I would say yes. And it's not only about just trying to raise some funds for scholarships or whatever, because there's more, it's more than that, because being part of the Alumni Association gets you to meet your future colleagues that you're going to need down the line. You're also going to take advantage of some of the personal and professional contacts that you're going to need within the Alumni Association, and then the mentorship as you start those businesses and when you start in your professional lives. There's always somebody in the Alumni Association that I can pick up and bring it in. You know, give me some advice. And last, I'd like to point out is that yes, and both of you have said, staying connected to our home away from home, meaning wherever you are at, you could be in the other 50 states and in 6 territories, but you're always a Norfolk State grad.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And for those people who may not know, tell them how they can become a part of the IC Norfolk, forgive me, of the Norfolk State Alumni Association.
Well, I'll start off. We can start off. We have different members, different memberships. We have what's known as a national member, and a national member can join and be a national member from Norfolk State University. They can join that for $500, $500, one-time fee. And then if they want to align themselves with a chapter, they can pay $25. Then you have your associate member. Associate member is a member that maybe didn't graduate from Norfolk State University, but they have been associated with Norfolk State people. They've been associated with Norfolk State activities. They've been associated with the Norfolk State family, and they want to become a part of a chapter. So they can also join as associate member. And then you have the regular member who want to join a chapter, who's a graduate of Norfolk State University, who's a regular member of the chapter, and our chapter dues for a year is $50. And in order to join, we have membership forms that we could send out to people if they would like to join our chapter. All they would have to do is get in contact with either me or Lewis, and we would be able to send them applications so that they can join our alumni group. And it's basically the same way for any alumni chapter, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, or whatever. That's the way you can go about doing that. And we've been, like I said, we've been meeting virtually for 2.5 years. And with our membership, a lot of times when we were meeting, we meet virtually, we have some between 20 and 30 members on our virtual meetings. So that's very, very good. And that's one of the ways that we can go about getting members. And we also get members by everybody's a part of our membership committee. Everybody is a part of our membership committee. So you may have a friend, you may have a graduate, you may have someone that you know. We ask them to become members of the Alumni Association so that they can be help and assist us with activities. Lewis?
Yeah, Bill, everything exactly right on. We like Bill said, we've been doing this for the last 3 years. Being an officer in the chapter, you're elected for 3-year term. So Bill and I, we on our 3rd year, which we end in the June of this year. But like he said, the membership, the thing about it is the life membership. And that's the thing that we want to try to make, emphasize to the students, right? To anybody that wants to join. When you join the life membership for the $500 fee, the money actually goes into an endowment for the school. So when the school needs something, they have funds in order to do it. So it really, really helps the majority of the school. It's not just, you know, the alumni association. That's not the purpose of, you know, even though you join an alumni association, but the money is actually being used for the students at the school. And, you know, and we always, there's always, if you guys, y'all probably had hiccups while you were in college, you know, maybe you came up short on funds, or you needed something, or you had this book that you had to buy. And, you know, books not like when we were in school. You know, you could get a book for $20, $25. Now books are $150, $200, $250. You know, you gotta have a book for a class, and you just don't have the funds. So a lot of these, the money that, you know, they do, we raise for those kind of things, goes into helping those students make sure that they can get the equipment and everything that they need in order to graduate.
And Lewis Teller writes, use the Alumni Association to donate to the school and get a tax deduction.
Yes.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
So
Whatever
we-
you donate is tax deductible,
yes.
right? Your dues and everything.
Everything is tax deductible. So we are encouraging all of those NSU grads, all of the lovers of NSU, even if you didn't go to NSU, you can still be an associate member of
Yeah.
the Portsmouth NSU chapter. We encourage each of you to please join, and so that we can help to support the young people who are doing the right things.
Right.
Young people are trying to do the right thing, and this gives us an opportunity to support them. And I need to be the first. So Bill and Lewis, I'll pay my dues. I haven't paid my dues, I must say. When I was
All
a
right.
member of the alumni chapter, I was a member of the Norfolk Alumni Chapter. That was because
Okay.
they reached out to me, and I joined that chapter. But I
Well, we're
definitely
reaching
have
out to you today, Leah.
You're reaching out to me today. Wonderful. And I will pay my alumni dues. And I encourage all of my friends and individuals who are out there who attended Norfolk State to pay your dues. Pay your
Exactly.
dues. And if you pay your dues, and if you got a little extra money when the taxes come in, make a donation
Make a
to
That's
the
right.
Norfolk State Alumni Association.
Exactly. And write it off. We need donations now. Yeah, I mean, I know I do. I'm trying to find out ways to get around Uncle Sam, but you know, every
Mhm.
year he ends up telling me, you owe me a little bit more
Yeah,
money.
he tell me the same thing
You
every
know.
year.
So I, you know,
Yeah.
yes. But yeah, we really do. But we
Yeah.
really would love to have more people to
Yes.
join the Alumni Association. We don't know the number. We used to be able to get anybody that attended or graduated from Norfolk State. We used to be able to get that information, but with the you know, the security around getting people's information now,
Yeah.
we can't get that information. But I know at one time there, you know, there might be 20,000 people in Portsmouth that had some affiliation with Norfolk State.
Norfolk State.
You know,
Yeah.
but you know, now we can't get that. But we are, our plea right now is anybody that wants to help Norfolk State in any form, join the association, make a donation to the Alumni Association. It's all tax deductible. We give the money. We don't keep the money. We
We
use a
can't
little.
keep it down. All monies that we raise goes strictly for scholarships for Norfolk State University.
Yeah.
All monies that we raise. And so,
And what-
like Lewis said, we can't keep it down. Yes, sir. Slim.
And what a lot of people need to understand as well, because we talk about this with the union alumni, that when the alumni give, a certain amount of money can go towards an endowment for the university. And the university's endowment are very important. That's how they really rank a lot of the universities. The higher endowment you have, the better. And with all the people you said that went to Norfolk State, because it's usually a minimum, you know, if you want to give, or you have a fundraising effort, it's a minimum what you can have. And once you give that, it can go towards a endowment. And then once that endowment is established, it's in perpetuity. I think that's the word. And it just continues to grow and grow. And you hear about these PWIs, the big schools that got these huge endowments. And it's no reason that our HBCUs shouldn't be able to have huge endowments too. So
That's right.
their ratings and rankings will be really high. And and you wouldn't have to be doing as many fundraisers if you
That's
can
right.
have these huge
Exactly.
endowments.
All we
That's
have to do is
That's-
give
that's
back to
important.
our university, because,
Give
and
back to
believe me,
university.
our HBCs, you need the funds. We, you know, every year we ought to put them right up there with any other giving that we plan on giving. We ought to say
Exactly,
Norfolk
exactly.
State, you know, if it's Norfolk State or if it's another HBCU, it ought to be one of your lead donations for the year.
That's
And
right.
for all the students out there who are trying to decide, do I want to go to Norfolk State? Do I want to go somewhere else? Aurelia just shared with us that Norfolk State has launched the Spartan Innovation Academy. Every student receives an iPad Pro, smart keyboard, and AirPods Pro upon graduation. They receive that when they come to Norfolk State, and then upon graduation, they can purchase these items for $1. Wow. That is
See?
excellent. So you give them the tools that they need in order to be successful when they're in school. So that's a great thing there.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know,
That
and
is excellent.
when you mentioned HBCUs, I have a friend who was going to a PWI, and then he just decided that he was going to do an online class with an HBCU. And when he's doing this online class with this, he said, you know what? This is awesome. I never experienced anything like this before. He said, I can actually call the teachers and ask for assistance. And
Right.
I don't have to go anywhere or go anywhere else. They answer me back. And they
Right.
let me know what I need in order to be successful. And that's the experience that we all had going to
Yes,
an HBCU.
exactly.
You have the teachers who are absolutely there to make sure that you are successful. And if you're not successful, it's not because they're not trying to assist you to become successful. It's
That's
because
right.
you just lack the motivation to do so. But
Excellent point.
to go to an HBCU is just, I got friends who graduated from PWIs, and there they say, I want to have that HBCU experience. So
That's
now for
right.
graduate school, they're deciding now they're going to go to an HBCU for graduate school just to
That's
get that
right.
experience.
Yes,
right.
yes. It's nothing like it. It's
Nothing
nothing
like
in
it
the
in the
world
world.
like it.
Nothing
So
like
they,
it.
Nothing like it. That's right.
Yes.
And,
Well, I would tell
and
you,
I'll,
go ahead.
go ahead, Colonel.
Okay, I would tell you that, yes, I am a lifetime member of the Alumni Association, and I did that a long time ago. But and I also give back every year, and I through the foundation, North State's foundation, I earmark money every year to the Department of Nursing. And last year I divided it up because my son is a graduate of the computer science department, and so I stroked them a check also. So it's always dear to my heart. And so that's two Norfolk State from my family. But I also have a third one because my daughter is a graduate of the nursing program and just pinned on her major at first of this month. And so she's a major in the Army Nurse Corps, getting her doctorate through the Army. And so
That's great.
Norfolk State is in our blood. And
Yeah.
That's right.
we find that in our kids, just like your daughter, it's in her
Yes.
blood.
it is, it is. It's in, it was in our, and see it, and excuse me, Leah.
Go ahead.
See, my wife graduated from there. I graduated from there. Rhea didn't have much of a choice, you know, and then she was like Leah mentioned earlier, she was kind of smart. She must get it from my mama. But anyway,
Definitely.
she was in the Nemesis program, you know, and
that's
Norfolk
right.
State,
That's
you
right.
know, so she went through that, you know, and the Nemesis just took care of everything for her.
That's
She didn't
right.
have paper. And
Mhm.
then she left there. She took a job with NSA.
Mhm.
They sent her to Johns Hopkins to get a master's degree. Then she come back to Norfolk State. They sent her to Pace University to get a doctorate degree. She hadn't cost us a dime because,
Mhm.
you know, I don't know
She
if
was
because
smart.
we influenced or what, but thank God that it worked that way, you know.
It was definitely Connie Lewis. I hate to tell you.
I know
that.
it,
was
Leah. I
definitely
know
Connie.
you were gonna, I know you were gonna say that, Leah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, for the
And-
sake of those who are listening and don't know about the Norfolk State Foundation, can you share some information about? I know you say you went to the foundation meeting, Lewis. I don't know what part you play in it, but just share some information on the Norfolk State Foundation.
Well, Bill and I both, we're part of the NSU Athletic Foundation. And it's an organization that handles the sports more or less, you know. They are responsible for making sure that the kids that are playing sports, they get everything that they need in order to be able to play the sport and get an education at the same time. And I think they mentioned at the meeting last night, they have a 77% graduation rate for athletes on time. And that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is pretty good, huh? You know, I know, being in ROTC kind of slowed me down on not being able to take all the courses I wanted. It took me an extra semester to get out of there, but hey, that's life. But I'm just saying, for these guys to play sports for 4 years or whatever, and then be able to graduate on time. And see, this is what the Athletic Foundation does. They raise funds in order to assist the students in getting those things that they need, including tutors or whatever, you know, in order to fulfill their obligation as far as, you know, graduating from Norfolk State on time. So the Athletic Foundation is very, very, very important in helping with the athletes of Norfolk State.
Very
Well,
good.
you know what? I'm gonna add one thing about athletes. And you know, we have some of the best athletes out here in the Tidewater area.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, and you'll say they're always going, they'll be going to some school, Liberty, Alabama, or whoever. And I tell these young kids, yes, you can go there, but you're going to come back. Because one, if you get hurt, that PWI is going to kick you to the curb faster than you can call your mama.
That's right.
Two is that they want you to play ball, and they don't care about, and they want to keep you academically eligible. So you are going if you stay eligible for 3 years, you probably don't have you don't even have a half a year of credible credits at
That's
that
right.
when you go down, you know, down to Alabama for sir, you know,
Yeah.
because, and if you don't go to the pros, which is 0.01% of all the hundreds of thousands of athletes out here,
Yes.
you are going to be out there with a cardboard sign on the corner of Walmart talking about you need some help. So stay home. Come to a university, you can play ball, do your thing, help the university. You can still star. And as Deion Sanders says down there in Jackson State, saying, yes, the pros still look at you, but there's a difference. You are going to get a high quality education here at home, where
That's right.
those other schools don't care jack about you. They
They
just
don't care about you. They don't care about you at all.
yes, it's modern day slavery.
Classic example of Colonel. A lot of those athletes, basketball players right now coming from the PWIs are over at the PIT to get recognized. And it's amazing how many our two universities have sent people to the pros, you know, Union with, Oakley and the players that come out of Norfolk State. So if you're good, the scouts will find you regardless.
Yeah.
Bobby Dandridge, I mean, he's my idol, you know, growing up,
But the more of the story is that black child, that person that's coming there, that comes to our university, has a better chance of succeeding in America to continue their education, either go be a lawyer or to being a success in society, than the chances are going to play pro ball.
That's true.
So you better prepare for the worst. Actually the worst is better because you have a better quality of life.
That's right.
Yeah.
And don't shoot for the one star that you're out there.
No, not at all.
And Leah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I thought they were going to say so. I wanted to bring this point up too, because another role that some students don't realize that the alumni in the different areas around the school can serve. we always have Dr. Ernestine Duncan on our show periodically. She's in the Department of Psychology at Norfolk State, and we always talk to her about.
Outstanding.
Yeah, we
Outstanding
always
lady.
Yes, she is.
we always talk to her about mental health, and the last time she was on, we focused in on college students and the pressures that they may face. And even though they are programs set up, you have her who was a former clinician, but she can't really mix teaching and those kind of duties. But they have programs set up for people that have problems. But the alumni can serve as support for those students, because a lot of the people in alumni, you've been through that. And sometimes, students might be a little depressed, or just like Bill, you mentioned when you first went there, you stayed with people. And so, you get kids that can't go home because it's too far. They
That's
live in
right.
California for the holidays.
That's right. I
And
had
the
a
alumni,
roommate like that.
right? And the alumni can open up their arms for students like that that can give them that kind of nourishment they need, rather than staying on campus. So the alumni can serve a greater role as far as they're concerned too. I know you're ready to serve that role, but most students might not know that they can come to you all and talk over some things if they're having some issues. And if it gets a little too tough, they need to get professional help. But
That's right.
those little
That's
things that we all go through when we're on the college campus away from home, that you can find an alum and go to him and just talk to them about their experiences on campus, because it's pretty much the same from generation to generation.
It's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. I had a roommate that lived in Jamaica, New York, and he never could go home for those holidays, those Thanksgiving holidays. And there was some instructors that helped him stay in town during those particular times. And also they referred him to some of the alumni that was around, and they helped them as far as being able to cope during those times when they couldn't be with their family. So Slim, you made a very, very nice statement. That's very good.
Yeah, thanks.
But you know what? Here's another piece, though, before I cut you off, Leah.
That's okay.
The alumni is everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember when I was stationed at Fort Knox, and one of the alumni was Lieutenant General Rochelle.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd see me in the PX, and I'd have my Norfolk State shirts on coming in there. And and he was so down there, but I would just tell him, I says, you know what, I can come out here and I can show this, and I can flex on everybody out here. And at the time he was he was a 2-star, and he was the head of recruiting command. So he really couldn't come out and say one university over another. But I was the chief nurse out there, and I says, I got them all. And I always go after saying, I know my HBCU brothers and sisters out there can outrun, outdo, outthink, and outdo everybody, all these other schools. And I was responsible for 527 colleges and universities across the country. And I knew my people and my HBCUs, and they were mine. Yes.
You see the richness of HBCUs?
Yes.
This is across the board. You just believe me. And this is the way I feel. This is something that, nobody can take from us. HBCUs are necessary. We gotta keep them.
That's right.
We can't let these, other schools just absorb us, and like they tried to do the high schools. We went through that in Portsmouth. A lot of us know what that was like when they were trying to do away with all the. But we can't let that happen to us.
And don't you remember back in, I guess it was like the early 90s, when they wanted to merge Norfolk State with ODU?
Yeah.
That would have been such a terrible deal to have taken place,
Yes.
to merge those schools.
That was back during the time of Harrison Wilson, I think.
What was that now?
That was back during the time, was it Harrison Wilson? That was the president.
Harrison Wilson, that's right. That's right.
And he refused to let it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They were
Yeah,
talking
that's
about that
right.
merger.
That
And the
happened,
thing,
yeah.
but the thing that young people need to realize, when you go to Norfolk State or you go to an HBCU, you are a person, you are an individual, you're not a number. And a
That's
lot of
right.
these schools, they give you a number. And when you look for your grades, you got to find that number on the board. You got to find that number in everything that you do. But you are an individual who is recognized by everyone on campus.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's such a good thing, you know?
Well, you know what, Leah? I can't let it go because I've been nice.
Oh goodness, I was thinking we were gonna get through this.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead,
Gotta
Colonel.
get some politics in there. Get
Go
some
ahead, Colonel.
politics in there.
So I would tell you, since you talked about HBCUs being swallowed up, and HBCUs are being assaulted every day by what I call the Confederates of the Republican Party. And that's one reason we need to give back to us. And you can look at who represents the Confederates. And I can, if you want me to spell that out, I will spell it out for you. But you should know.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. So yes, so give back to our universities, and you need to go out here, and also you need to vote.
That's right. And support our universities.
Yes.
Support the
Yeah, and that's
universities.
that's another one of the reasons why it's so important for us to realize and recognize that our resources, our money, is so important because, as you stated, when we go to the state to try to get funds for Norfolk State University, you know that we have to do something even harder. We have to be better to get money than
Yeah.
like other universities can. So a
Mhm.
lot of times we have to go back and remember our legacy, remember our heritage, remember
That's
that
right.
we won't get anything. We got to do it ourselves.
Yes.
And we are the ones that's got to make sure that the money that's required, if nobody else to give it, we got to give it ourselves
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
support our university. Yes, indeed.
Who was it?
Yes.
Who was it? James Brown said, "What? Open the door and I'll get it myself," or something like that.
Don't
James
want-
Brown.
Don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open the door, I'll
Open
get
the
it myself.
door. That's right.
There you go. That's right.
Bro,
Get on
And
the
that's the
good
way we
foot.
have to be.
Dave
Yeah.
Brown wrote those words. Dave Brown wrote those words.
Yeah.
Well, Dr.
That's James
Ernestine
Ford,
Duncan
James Brown.
says, HBCUs, we care. And
Yes,
that's the
That's
truth.
right.
Thank you, Dr.
That's right.
Duncan. Thank you.
Yes.
And-
Yes.
And I'm so glad we are focusing on HBCUs and especially the ones in this area. I hope going forward after we cover the ones in this area, and we can always have Norfolk State alumni back, continues because it's always something going on. And as we study the other HBCUs, we have a lot of HBCU like St. Paul that closed down. We can't let that happen to any more of our HBCUs.
That's right.
And they're valuable. And it's a lot of HBCUs, and hopefully we can educate more people that we don't know about. Tuvalu in Mississippi.
Mhm.
Tupelo.
And that,
Tupelo,
Tupelo.
Mississippi.
And-
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's a college HBCU I never heard of until someone I knew went there. And they were an important part of the Freedom Riders back in the late 50s and 60s. That was a safe haven for those Freedom Riders when they were going down south to go on those university campuses. So we need to spread the history. There's a lot of colleges that people know about, but it's a lot of HBCUs that we don't know about that we need to also share that with the people coming up. And don't get caught up in the CRT, Colonel.
Now that you triggered me,
Oh, you did it, James. You did it. You did it.
yes, St. Paul should never have closed.
Never
You had
should
a
have closed.
Republican governor at the time that sent uncle, whatever his name is, down there that was supposed to save it, but actually self-destructed St. Paul. And that's one of the reasons that the Confederates closed one of those HBCU schools. So we have to be politically astute and also have a voting block, say right there in Norfolk, to say, hey, if we don't get the money, we're gonna turn out these kids.
Mhm.
And that's the only power that they have, or we have, is the right to vote. And so we got an election coming up here in November. And so part of the Alumni Association, I charge y'all to have those voter registration stuff done for next year. Because the Confederates are making it harder every day to vote. And without the power of the vote, then we're done.
That's true.
That's right.
Done
Very true.
They're changing all the districts and all that all
That's
around.
right. That's right.
And it makes it hard. It really makes it hard for us to elect who we would like to.
Exactly.
So we have to be aware of that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but we know ahead of time. We know the criteria, so we got to get it together. If they want such and such ID, get it and show up to vote.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
See,
it. I got that off my chest.
All right.
I was waiting for
That's
it,
a good
Colonel.
point that you just made.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point we make. We need to make sure everybody goes to the polls and votes for our rights.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is
Especially
something
the
that
students
we can
on
do.
campus.
Yeah, that is something that we can do. We can do a voter registration thing, Luke.
Exactly.
Yeah. The vote for the governor, lieutenant governor, and the races attorney general, 15,000 votes separated them. We would not have them if a few more people would have just went to the polls instead of watching TV that day.
True.
And
Wow.
we wouldn't. Those Confederates would have been home.
Exactly. Well, it's 8:08.
Yes.
And you gentlemen, you have done a marvelous job. I'm just so delighted to say that I'm a part of the Norfolk State family, and you
All right.
represented the school so very well. So we want to encourage everyone who's out there, if you're a graduate of Norfolk State, or if you are just associated with Norfolk State, please join the Norfolk State Alumni Association. If you got a few extra dollars in your tax, you give some to Norfolk State and some to Norfolk too, but give some to Norfolk State as well. But I'm just so proud of you guys, and I'm really looking forward to joining and really becoming an active member of the association, as I was one time before. So, and students who are out there, if you're thinking about a place to go, think about Norfolk State when you're making that decision.
That's correct.
Think about going to campus. See, and in fact, one thing I'm getting ready to do, I have a lot of young people in my youth group. I mean, little people, elementary school age kids. What I'm going to start doing with them now, and I've just proposed to my directors, we're going to start taking those little people to the HBCU
To Richmond,
campuses
to
now.
Richmond.
Get it instilled in them so that when they do decide to go to school, they will know that these schools are there for them, and they can see and experience it for themselves. So that's one thing I'm going to do. So we'll be taking the kids around to the various HBCUs so that they can be on campus, see what happens on campus, and really strive to want to get a college education, most of all, more than anything else. But I want to thank you all. And I tell you, Aurelia says, kudos to my alumni chapter leadership.
Okay.
So we are just excited. And I see now I can call Aurelia and Dr. Duncan, Dr. Williams and Dr. Duncan, and get my kids on their first college tour at Norfolk State University. So look for that call, ladies. Look for the call. But yes, sir.
I would like to emphasize the alumni, the Portsmouth Chapter Alumni Scholarship. We've sent the application to all the high schools in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
They have until the end of the month to put their application in if they would like to be considered for the scholarship. So by the end of this month, they have to have that application in. And we've sent it to all the high schools in Portsmouth. You have to be a resident of Portsmouth.
Okay.
For the Portsmouth Chapter Scholarship.
Well, I know I'm on, I got to go and check with them on the Norcom alumni. So when I go over there, I will also ask them if they have individuals who've applied for the Norfolk State Scholarship as well.
We know Narcom has.
Yeah, we already know Narcom.
We got a lot of scholarship applications for Narcom.
Well, good. Well,
Narcom,
good.
I just said Narcom is on the ball.
Well,
because I graduated from there, but
okay.
I just want to let you know.
Because it's true. Because it's true.
I would do you the favor of talking to Mr. Malachi at Churchland, and and Mr. Johnson at Manor, and I will ask them as well if they've had students to apply for the scholarships. But the scholarships need to go to a Norcom graduate, okay? So
We
one
can't
more-
control that, Paul. Yeah,
I know. I talked to a
Yeah.
young man today who thinks he's going to get a Norfolk State scholarship.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that he's successful.
He probably will. He
I'm
probably
hoping he's
will.
successful.
A lot of them out there. They just have to apply. You
Yeah.
know, and that's one thing for kids today that they're not listening. Maybe their parents are. Kids do not apply for scholarships.
They don't.
They,
Yeah.
you know, and the money is out there. If you just apply, you never know. And you know, it might be a little tweet here, tweet there, but in the end, you know, you just apply for it and you get your name in the hat. But if you don't apply, you're not gonna get it. And they
And-
need to learn that.
Right.
They need to apply.
Those
So,
little, the small scholarships that they get that they can put in their pocket,
That's
it
right.
makes a difference when you're away from home and you're on campus and you're in between meals
Yes, sir.
and you need a little extra money and you get hungry
Yeah.
in between those cafeteria meals, you know,
Yeah.
because you can
And
get
I
pretty
just
broke on
mentioned one more
campus.
thing.
Mhm.
Norfolk State Alumni Association. We have a closed closet and a closed, but a pantry.
Food pantry.
Students at Norfolk State, if they, you know, if they run short on food or something like that, or they need some, you know, they can go to the Alumni Association at Norfolk State and be able to get food.
That's good.
I mean,
That's
you know,
good.
we support that so that they, you know, you never know when a kid, you know, he just don't have the money or whatever,
Exactly.
but they can go to the Alumni Association and be able to get some food.
Good. That's
Mm.
good. And
Yeah.
you know, and
So
Aurelia,
it's some good things.
Aurelia just sent over as well. She said the cyber complex has fun activities. And she said the students should also look at our VCAN program. And you can go to https www.nsu.edu/VCAN. Virginia College Affordability Network Scholarship. They will provide free tuition funding to Pell eligible first-year students. Eligible students must live within 25-mile proximity of Norfolk State campus, and priority is placed on students from Newport News, Norfolk, and Portsmouth. So that's a good fact there, that VCAN scholarship. So we need to get that out there to the students as well. So there's money out there, parents. If your children are not telling you about it, contact Norfolk State Alumni Chapter, contact Norcom Alumni Chapter. There is money out there for your students. It's just they have to take the initiative to fill out the applications.
That's right. Mhm.
Well, I'll add to the parents. Parents, tell them kids to put their phone down, and as every week they need to be putting in some paperwork to get some
Amen.
money,
Amen.
because it's not up to you, and you shouldn't have to go out there and sell and sign for that parents loan that you're going to be saddled with a bunch of debt till you grow old and croak, especially when they get this free money.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
all they have to do is get a book of stamps and put stuff in the mail.
That's all you have to do. And some places now you can just email it over.
And
You don't
email
even have
it.
to get a book of stamps. So they make it really easy for you. So
That's right.
But make that an assignment saying you're going to do so many of these applications every week.
that's right.
That's all
That's
you have
right.
to do.
Because all you can get a lot of no's, but all you need is one yes.
One
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
yes can make a
Yes,
difference.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Mhm.
Well, gentlemen, we want to thank you for coming on, and when you see me out there, I'm gonna always have that trash talking in me. So, but I want you to know I love all my fellow HBCU people. So, but you can always get the trash talking, even though we're in different conference now. You're gonna get the
Mhm.
trash talking from this guy.
But that's
But
fine.
I think
That's
that's what we
That's-
all about
that's it.
anyway.
Look,
right.
part
That's what
of it too.
HBCUs is about.
That's right.
That's part of our.
We love each other, but
It's
we're
a
gonna
family.
talk smack now.
It's a
Yeah, we're
family.
gonna
It's
talk
a
smack.
family affair, guys. It's a
That's
family
right.
Family
affair.
affair.
Exactly.
Mhm.
all of us share the same experience.
That's
So,
right.
That's right,
but
absolutely.
I
And
like
then
to keep that going.
That's
But
part of our culture.
my granddaughter
Yeah.
went to North Carolina E&T. All I had to do is to change. She changed one of the colors, just one of the colors. I can still wear gold when I go to her affairs. Okay, I can
Blue
still
and
wear
gold.
gold. So,
Yeah.
but guys, this has been wonderful. I'm so happy you all started us off right with the HBCUs. You all have done a fabulous job. I'm
All
proud
right,
of
thank you. Thank you so much for having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you for having us. We really enjoyed ourselves, and you all continue to do the great work that you're doing.
All we want to
Well,
do is put the
thank
information
you.
out there for the public. That's it.
Yes.
Put it
Y'all
out
doing,
there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
doing a
And you're
wonderful
welcome
job.
back anytime. And whoever's president of, going
Yeah.
forward, welcome back as well.
Yeah, if you
All
have
right.
something special going on that you want to share with the community, let us know. Come back and see us again.
We
Okay.
sure will. We sure will
We
do
will.
that.
Yes.
We will.
And Lewis, but since you came to me to pay your Norfolk membership, I will come to you to pay my Norfolk State membership, okay?
All right, and I'll send you the application, and you do the same for me, for the
You did it
alumni.
already. Yes.
I know I did. I think I did, but I hey, send me another one. I'll
I'll
send you
send
a
you another one,
donation.
let you do it twice.
There you go. Send you a donation.
Okay,
All
Okay,
right.
but thank you all.
y'all know that's
Colonel,
on tape. That's on tape now.
It's on
Hold up
tape?
and
I know
court.
it. Hey,
Colonel,
it's out
you
there
have-
now.
you have
That's
any
a
final words?
contract.
That's a
Right,
contract. It's a
contract.
contract, right?
Contract.
It's a contract.
Okay. Thank you. And Portsmouth Coffee Talk is here for our voice.
Our community.
In our future.
And
Thank
thank
you, guys.
everybody
Thank
for
you so
watching
very
and
much.
take care.
Yes.
God bless you.
God
God
bless.
bless y'all. Thank y'all.
Mhm.
Yeah.